Welcome back, everybody, to the Global Economic Initiative here at the Forum at the United Nations. And this next guest has come a long way to spend some time with us. I spent quite a bit of time with him in the past, and I'm really looking forward to what he has to say. Padjouf is a renowned business coach whose winning real-world applications have made him the go-to advisor and personal coach to some of the greatest corporate leaders of our time, politicians, top athletes, and thought leaders. Dubbed a serial entrepreneur, he has launched highly successful business ventures globally. He has reinvented corporate training with his fresh approach, creating transformational results for business owners, CEOs, executive management, and project teams. So please welcome to the stage, Mr. Padjouf.
All right, how you guys doing?
Doing all right.
Doing great? Had good lunch?
Delicious.
All right, so it's an honor really and a privilege to be here at the United Nations and spending some time with some great leaders and entrepreneurs. And I'm here to just give a short message because, as they say, you can't preach to the choir. And you guys are all success in your own right. So maybe I'm just going to take a couple of minutes here and just remind you of what we're all about and what is it that we need to do here to make the world a better place. Is that okay with you guys?
That's great.
As Nick said, my name is Padjouf and I'm from a small country called the Gambia. Anyone heard of the Gambia before? One person. And it's always the response I get. Well, Gambia is the smallest country in the world, one of the smallest countries in the world, and the poorest by many means. There's only 1.9 million of us, so if you see a Gambian, please cherish them, because I'm right there with me. But I grew up in humble beginnings, and living life in Gambia was something that I thought was my biggest problem, but turned out to being my greatest gift. Because I learned about what true success is, where you have people who don't know where they're going to get the next meal, where they're going to get clean drinking water or have the facilities that we have. And I realized that success is about grateful for what little that you have. And we call Gambia the smiling coast because all we've got is a smile. And I'll never forget this. I shared a bedroom with my parents for 9-10 years. My parents' bed used to be right there, and me and my brother used to lie on the floor. And I remember lying down there dreaming that someday I'm going to make a difference. Success is not going to be a maybe. It's not going to be a should. It's going to be an absolute must. Because here's the truth. When I looked around in my neighborhood, I saw a lot of people who had given up hope, given up power, who have labeled themselves a third world country. And I don't know if you know this, but Africa has some of the natural resources of the world. It's one of the richest continents in the world, but the people who live there can't really see it for whatever reason. And I swore that I'm going to stand for something. I'm going to stand for something. I'm going to become an example, not a warning. I'm going to let my wounds and turn it into wisdom. And us as entrepreneurs, that's the first step. We've got to stand for something. And what we're going to stand for needs to be bigger than just us, bigger than just paying our bills, having the nice cars. It's to standing for something so we can become an example so people can say it's possible. And that's what drove me. That's what drove me coming from that small country to say, you know what? I'm going to put a mark on this world. And my mark on the world is one little dot. But if I can do mine, everybody else can say it's possible. And that's really what it's about. And the second thing I like to talk about is this. And, we're in the world of really right now, most of us here are entrepreneurs. We've got good businesses. But why the hell are we in business? I think we're in business for one reason. We're in business to solve problems. And the bigger the problem we solve, the more money we make, the more people will help, and the more real success we create. Because success is just not about money. And sometimes we forget that because now we live in an age where it's transactional. It's all about the transaction rather than the transformation. And the one thing I do is sell transformation because I think everybody deserves transformation. And it's funny, when you share transformation, you create impact. You think about your products and services. Your products and services needs to be something that when somebody receives it or uses it or benefits from it, their life becomes better, which makes them stand out. That's our job. The second week is we want to stand out. And there's a saying that says this, why fit in when you were born to stand out? Your products and services need to make people want to stand out and claim who they are because, I don't know, there's only one par. I'm taken. You're taking. Everybody else here in this room has been taken, so there's only one of you. There's only one of you. There can't be anyone else. And it's good to remind us of that because most people run through life, they're searching. They're searching. They have all the success. I get to work with some of the greatest leaders, big CEOs, people who have made a lot of money. But that's all what they have, money. And there's a saying that goes like this: if all that you have is money, you're the poorest person on the planet. And it's a good something really, really good to remember. I remember I was doing an event probably 4 or 5 years ago, a business acceleration event, and I had all these physicians there, and there was a dentist in the room, and I was asking the question, what do you do? And he got up and said, I'm a dentist. Then I asked the second question, he said, what is it that you really do? Who are you? What is it that you really do? And he paused for a second and he said this: I'm in the business of helping people have a great smile. Completely different feeling. Straight away you can see his identity shifted, and if he wakes up every single morning saying, I'm going to help people have a great smile. People haven't smiled in a long time. People whose voices have not been heard. That's what we do. We help people have a great smile. We help people find their voice, and we help people live a life of transformation, a life of passion. And the last thing I like to say is this. Once we stand for something, we get to stand out, but we've got to do something else. We've got to stand up tall and own it and claim our spot on the world. And by doing that, we have to make a decision. And one of the best decisions I ever made was marrying my wife. And I've always been somebody who goes for what I want when I see it. And there was one point in my life, this was about 8 years ago, I decided that it's time for me to get married. And me and a friend of mine decided that, look, yeah, this is the year. It's not all about now just striving for success. And I'll never forget this. I went to this party that was being organized at a hotel. And my friend had hooked me up with this blind date. But this was not my wife, actually. It was somebody else. And I got to the hotel, stepped outside the car, and my sister-in-law grabbed me by the hand and said, hey, Pa, I want to introduce you to my sister and mother-in-law. And I didn't even get to see my blind date, by the way. And I'll never forget this. I walked through the door, and there was her sister and her mother-in-law. My wife at the time was not there. She was doing something else. All of a sudden, the door opens, and this beautiful woman walks through. And I looked with locked eyes, and I said, something just said, wow. That very night, I went out with her. I'm a fast mover. And every single day for that week, she was actually living in Ghana. We were just both there on holiday. I was living in the UK. She's a doctor in Ghana, so she had to go back 7 days later, and I had to go back to the UK. But every single day we went out together. I got back home to the UK, and I went to my best friend. I said to my best friend, you know what? I found a woman that I'm going to marry. What do you think he said to me? You're crazy. Don't do it. It's the wrong thing to do. But something inside me, you know when you know something inside you where you're the only one who knows it's the right call, it's the right decision. No one else knows, but you know inside. So I decided on day 10 after meeting her, she's already back in Ghana, that I'm going to get on a plane and go all the way to Ghana. And I called her up and I said, hey, Ange, guess what? Somebody's coming to Ghana. Please go to the airport. I've got a present for you. And when she got to the airport, of course, I came out. And there and then, I asked her to marry me. 7 weeks later, we were married. Got 3 beautiful kids. And I wonder if I had listened to everybody else saying it's not the right call, because everyone else wanted to protect me. What's in your hearts of hearts? What's that one decision that you know you need to make? You've had the success right now that's got you to where you are. But maybe what needs to take you to the next level could be something else. Probably you need to upgrade your winning formula. And that's my message here to you guys. You know, there's people out there waiting for us to show them the way. And if we live to our best, our true power, our true purpose, and leave a legacy behind that generations and generations can follow. So my message is very simple. Stand for something bigger than you. Be bold and stand out. And most importantly, stand up for what you believe in. God bless you, my friends. Thank you very much.